today.
Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to Afriq Morning Show. This is your host Leo Nyabaya. So karibuni sana. So if you're joining us for the first time, kindly ensure that as you're joining today's show, you start by subscribing to our channel and also invite others so that they can be able to subscribe. So this is the morning show. So I welcome all of you. I can see Goodia, been waiting. I can see Angela. I've also been waiting, Angela Sidani. So this is the moment that you've been waiting for. So karibuni sana. And today what you're looking at, the president told us that you pay taxes or no development. So those are among the stories that we're going to look at. And apart from that, I'm also going to take you through the newspaper review. And with me, I have the Standard newspaper. You can see top on the first page, I'm having e-citizen school fees blow to defiant Ruto. So what a description. I don't know what you take for that, because if you look at the first page, it talks of e-citizen school fee blow for defiant Ruto, whereby court shocker, the judge slams the brakes on payment of school fee through e-citizen Paybill number, dealing the president's plan to collapse over 3,000 government pay channels into a single digital system, a blow even as the head of the state vows, while in Japan, that his program is unstoppable. So they've blocked this Paybill number that we are told that over 3,000 government services are going to be paid through the Paybill number 22222. Yeah. So the Paybill number has been blocked. So we're going to look at that story. And if you can look up there, there's also IBC. There is a looming clash between the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza as the court okays the clash as the panel moves to pick the bosses. You know, this is one of the things that made Azimio to go on the streets, whereby they are claiming that the Kenya Kwanza part cannot be the ones picking the new bosses. But it seems this one has been ignored as court allowed the committee to go ahead. So we don't know what is going to happen. So we are going to look at that and other stories. So before I start, just allow me to play for you this video, what William Ruto, the president, had to say concerning the taxes. People have been complaining of taxation, calling him names, calling him Zakayo, the tax collector, the tasker, the taxer, all those kind of names. So have a look at this, because it is going to form part of our discussion. And you can join the discussion using the comment section there. Just let us know where you are watching from, your concern, your comments, and your compliments. And apart from that, you can also join the studio using the link that I'm just sharing on the comment section right now. So listen to this.
Japan, their tax as a percentage of GDP is at 34.8%. In Kenya, we are at 15, less than half what it is here. If we have to develop our country, Kenyans must roll up their sleeves and develop their country. Our country is not going to be developed by others. Our country is not going to be developed by aid. Our country is not going to be developed by debt. Our country is going to be developed by us. Japan is built by the Japanese using their own taxes. Kenya will be built by Kenya using our own revenues and our own taxes. That is a statement that we must tell each other. The one thing that I have committed myself to do is that we must then provide a guarantee that every Kenyan who pays for whatever service or pays whatever tax, that money should not be stolen by anybody. So long as we collect whatever tax we are collecting and we use it to grow our country, it is going to benefit us eventually. The one thing we must never do, and I will not do as president, is to say that there will be free lunch that the country is going to be developed by borrowing money from other people, that the money is going to, that Kenya is going to be developed by others, and that it's going to cost us nothing to develop our country. That one I will not do, and I will not encourage you to do. And that is why I don't mind, you know. People call me names. But you see, when you are doing the right thing, your conscience is clear that you are doing the right thing. And I will do the right thing for our country, irrespective of what names people call me, including Zakayo. We have a program with the Japanese government in Mwea. We concluded with their support the dam in Mwea that is now enhancing our production of rice in Mwea from by an extra 10,000 acres. There is a small component that is left of about 2 billion shillings. It's the reason why I came to straighten it up so that we can conclude phase 2 of that project, some canals and some items. And I have already received indication that that will be something that I will have a conversation with the Prime Minister tomorrow evening. We are also working with Japan on a master plan because we have huge opportunity in Ahero, in Kuja, in Migori, in Pekera, in Baringo, in Tana River, in Hola, in Bura, and in many other areas in Kenya. So that's a conversation we are going to have. They are supporting us to work out a master plan so that we can invest appropriately in that space. Secondly, we will be also having a conversation around mechanization. In fact, I will be meeting JBIC and one of the providers of equipment on how we can mechanize our agriculture, because we still have almost 45% of our agriculture is not mechanized, and that's why our productivity is low. People who have interacted with Kenyan human capital or Kenyan labor, they confess that it is a very professional, highly skilled, hard-working Kenyan labor force. So it's a premium. Any company, if they have a choice between hiring a Kenyan and hiring another person from another country, I don't want to say which one, they will choose to go for a Kenyan. So because it's an asset that we have, we must make sure that we deploy it appropriately and we use it to drive our progress and our prosperity as a nation. As we digitize government services, as is expected, there is a lot of resistance. Initially, we had something like, I think, 3,000 pay bills, you know. Now we have reduced the 3,000 pay bills to 1, so that we can have sight of government revenue. You may have heard the latest about school fees in Kenya, or money that is paid by parents. And some of the money is paid by parents, for example, in boarding schools, because we provide resources for learning in all our primary schools and secondary schools. What parents pay is boarding fees and maybe lunch. We are insisting because we realize that there are illegal levies charged by boards of management of schools that go into accounts that nobody knows. We expect to tap into expertise like what the Prime Cabinet Secretary was saying here, of Kenyans living abroad who are experts and professionals in that space, for them to work with us to see how we can secure our data. Geoffrey, you're listening? Yeah, how we can secure our data and how we can work together to make sure that services provided by the government of Kenya are seamless and uninterrupted. The reason why we are signing some of the bilateral agreements is that in the past, because there wasn't, deliberate government, plan, many of the workers that found their way into the diaspora were either professionals like you, people who've gone out for scholarship, and some of the time, majority went to us domestic workers. We are recalibrating that, and our bilateral labor agreements now reflect more skilled labor, professional labor, and the high-end labor, because we have those kind of categories. And it is also the reason why we are spending more money. In fact, we just doubled the money for our TVETs so that we can grow more human capital that has different skills that is required globally. It is my commitment also to expand the Kenyan diaspora, because the Kenyan human capital is a big resource, is a big asset. Just for your knowledge, we spend 650 billion Kenya shillings. That's about $5 billion every year to educate our children from primary school all the way to our universities. That is big spending. In fact, it is.
I think you've just heard that is the president speaking in Japan, explaining why you have to pay taxes for you to get development. He's really confirmed that Kenya is not going to be grown by aid, or it's not going to be grown by loans or by foreigners, but Kenyans will have to pay taxes and grow themselves the way Japan has been grown. You've also talked of having one pay bill for over 3,000 government services, whereby you just have to use e-citizen and pay. But I think when you were saying this, he was not privy to the ruling that was made. I just want to share it with you here so that you can be able to see what happened. So there you go. So you can see they're saying that the e-citizen school fees blow for the defunct Ruto, whereby the court shocker, the judge slams the brakes on payment of fee through e-citizen paybill number and dealing the president's plan to collapse over 3,000 government pay channels into a single digital system. A blow even as the head of state vows while in Japan that his program is unstoppable. So the question that maybe somebody might be asking today is, now that the court has spoken and the president has told the court that no, his program will have to continue irrespective of what you say or maybe how you take it. So do you think that parents are going to be comfortable while paying school fee through the e-citizen, something that has been stopped by courts? And that is what brings the war between the judiciary and the executive. And somebody is asking, is the judiciary out to sabotage the president and his plans? Because every time the president comes up with a problem, and the only body that we've seen trying to oppose or trying to stop or to slow down these programs is the judiciary. Look at the affordable housing program, something that was initiated by this government and the parliament passed it. So what happened when it went to the court? That is when the court said that no, this thing was not done well. You have to go and do some work. Again, the president had planned to collapse over 3,000 services so that you'll just be paying it through e-citizen, one account for all the government services. Wewe ukiwa mgonjwa pale Murang'a, when you go to the hospital, you use the same paybill number with the person who is in Kisumu and the person who is in Busia, or somebody who is in Mombasa. But now the court have said, wait a minute, this thing seem not to have been done in the right way. So what is your take this morning as we go through the papers? I just want to know how you're feeling. What is your opinion? Is the court doing service to the president, or in other words, do you think that the court is trying to sabotage the work of the president? That is what is in the first page of the Standard. If maybe I try to continue to the next page, we can also be able to see, oh, just down there, there's something interesting whereby cheap loans, forget it. After Central Bank of Kenya hikes the rate. So we are told that the Kenya Kwanza Rossi promise of cheaper loans for hustlers is now up in smoke. For those people who were promised that you're going to get some cheap loans, the hustler fund and such kind of things. So this one is thanks to the Central Bank of Kenya's decision to raise the benchmark lending rate. So the Central Bank of Kenya decided to raise the rate, the lending rate, so that they can be able to balance and try to stabilize the dollar. I don't know what is your take on that. For those people who still believe that they are going to get some cheap loans, we are sorry to tell you that the central bank raised the rate, so you are no longer going to enjoy those cheap rates that you used to enjoy before. Let me see if we can get something new in this other page. I think that is the same story that we were following up on in page 1, whereby the court, the president has, however, said that the directive still stands. He gave a directive that they are going to have all the payments made through the e-citizen, but the court said, no, you have to stop. We have to listen to this case. But the president told, okay, that no, listen. He said the directive still stands. And this is what the petitioner is trying to say. Just if you look at it, the issues that have been raised, the first issue is the shillings 50 convenience fee is not gazetted. Whenever you pay anything through this thing called e-citizen, you always have to pay 50 shillings convenience fee or service fee through what is called the PESA flow. So the petitioner is claiming that this fee is not gazetted and it is illegal to collect it from Kenyans. Number 2, the PESA flow is not gazetted to collect the fee. So how is this PESA flow going to collect the fee yet it is not gazetted? Who will be responsible? How will we be able to follow up and get the matters of accountability? Number 3, they're also talking of it is not known what PESA flow does in e-citizen. Yani huyu PESA flow hajulikani ni nani na huwa anafanya nini hapo kwa e-citizen. The petitioner is also saying that e-citizen is a government portal. So there is no clarity. PESA flow was given right to collect convenience fee, and the rationale behind the shilling 50 is also no, the fee is excessive and illegal. Kenyans will be forced to pay the amount for services not previously charged after directive to consolidate payment platforms. For example, there are some of the things that whenever you go paying, you don't pay some other fee. For example, when you're going to pay school fees in school, you only have to go and pay and you don't pay some extra money. So these are some of the things that are being challenged by the petitioner who wants this thing to be stopped. So the Kenya Kwanza government bid to unify all the payments under the 222222 paybill number might be another upsetting court circus. So that is what is happening. I don't know what you have to say about it, because the president now said that, okay, you people are trying to stop everything that I'm doing, but I'm telling you, I'm unstoppable. You people are even trying to stop me from taxing Kenyans, but I'm telling you, it is impossible. And this is not only a problem by the petitioner, but across the country. Like yesterday, we saw some demonstrations in Bomet that I'll just show you now. And one of the reasons why these people are demonstrating is that they are being taxed, they are paying rates, they are paying cess, they are paying everything, but they are not getting services from the county government. So that is the same thing that Kenyans are also worried that you want us to pay this fee through e-citizen. How sure are we that we are going to get this money back to our school? How sure are we that the money is going to be remitted in time? So maybe you can just listen to this, people talking of matters of taxation and responsibility so seriously.
Zima hiyo moto. Wewe pita kama unapita. Utakunyorosha.
Nasimama on behalf of people of Bomet who are working under county government, who have not been paid 11 months salary, the water which have been out of service for 3 months. We want service in Bomet County. We don't want government which only protect his right. Tuko hapa kufight na tutasimama na raia. Wacha niwaambie ukweli, governor, tutakuja kwako, tutakutoa ofisi bila kuintimidatiwa. Hii bingu, my friend, Barchok, tutapatana. Hii town lazima tufanye maandamano every Wednesday mpaka alipe maji, mpaka alipe workers, mpaka atengeneze barabara ya town. Au muingie saa huko ndani muone barabara. Kapatana tupige tiagas. Kuliko hii maneno ile town.
Sisi hapa Bomet tuko na shida mingi sana. Ana watu wapota. Tunalipa ushuru kila siku. Alafu watu wanatutumia askari. Hataki tuseme ukweli yetu. Sisi tunaumia kichini. Watu wanakula pesa ya boda, watu wanakula pesa ya revenue, alafu hiyo pesa hawapeleki mahali inastahili kupelekwa. Alafu sasa tukitaka kuripoti ile mashida tuko na hapa Bomet wanatutumia askari. Kwani sisi sio binadamu? Tulichagua mtu atufanyie kazi, si kulalia kazi.
So that is what is happening. Those people are just demonstrating simply because the taxes and the amount that they are collecting, they cannot be able, they can't be accounted for. So what is going to happen when people are going to pay this money through a single government pay bill, the one that has been proposed using the e-citizen? Those are some of the concerns that Kenyans are raising. But what is the president saying? Angela Sidani karibu sana anasema kama pesa za government lazima principals walalamike ndio zifike. Sasa e-citizen itafika? Yeah, that's a genuine question. Pesa za serikali, the one that is supposed to be remitted to school, the government part of it, the principals normally have to complain so that this money can be remitted. What is going to happen? Because the amount of the money that the parents are going to pay is the one that is normally used for food. Yeah. So it means that these schools the children are going, the students are going to sleep hungry, just waiting for the government to remit money. And somebody over there is saying that hiyo kikapu ya e-citizen imetoboka. Let us see what the president had to say about this. So in that, in the same page, this is what the president had to say. I'll just get it and read it for you. So the president had to say this. Ruto says school fee payment via e-citizen is a must. So do you listen to me? That is page 2, the standard. Ruto says school fee payment via e-citizen is a must. So President William Ruto yesterday declared that all school fees must be paid through the digital platform e-citizen, explaining that this development was unstoppable. He said the digital platform was a transparent and accountable way of ensuring that school principals do not introduce illegal fee to overburden parents. Speaking on the day, the High Court in Nairobi temporarily stopped the use of the platform. The president insisted that the government is determined to ensure digitization of government services. The president, who addressed Kenyans residing in Japan during the state visit, said that you may have heard about latest about school fees in Kenya. Some of the money paid by the parents in boarding schools are insisting that it's paid through e-citizen. So that is the response that William Ruto had to give. So it means whether you like it or not, the school fees will have to be paid through e-citizen. So that is what is happening. I don't know your take. Namuona, how is this? I can see Angela is already in. So Angela, good morning.
Morning too.
Yeah, how are you this
Unanisikia?
morning? Nakusikia vizuri
I'm
sana.
good.
You are good. That is great. Rais amesema hata mpende musipende, muende koti musiende kotoni, nobody is going to stop his development agenda. And one of his development agenda is the affordable housing. Number 2 is trying to unify all the payments so that all the payments lazima zitafanyika through e-citizen. Jana uliona koti ilipiga break ikasema hii kitu ingojee kwanza tuichunguze, lakini rais amesema lazima itatumika. Maoni yako ni yapi?
Maoni yangu ni haya. Unajua yeye anafanya na kifua. Kitu cha kwanza hana public participation. Hatuulizi. Yeye anatuamulia asif yeye ako kwa mawazo yetu. Affordable housing hatukatai, lakini ile ushuru ameweka hizo nyumba zinakubali. Na wacha nikuulize, mimi nafanya kazi ya 300 per day. Na bado nina mahitaji ndio nifikishe hiyo pesa ya affordable housing. Fanya tu hesabu kiasi in my area kujenga a 2-bedroom house, it just cost me like I think 900 or 800. Nimejenga nyumba mzuri sana, 2-bedroom 3-bedroom. Now ya Ruto, a bed sitter is 3 million. 3 million in my own village, I will own a shamba of 3 acres. So mimi na reason hivyo. Na hizi nyumba affordable housing zitakuwa tu za wale wakale wake wenye ameweka kila mahali CEO na managers na directors juu ndio wata afford affordable housing. Lakini mtu kama mimi I cannot afford affordable housing, na wacha aache kutulazimishia vitu zenye hatutaki. Mimi sijui mikutano zake anaitishianga wapi. Natamani sana siku moja mkutano ya Ruto mimi niende ni attend na nimwambie rais nataka tu usimame na nisimame. Nikwambie facts, unishike uniweke ndani nikiwa nimekwambia facts. Anasema e-citizen paying school fees. Like mashinani kwetu leo hakuna wazazi wako na smartphone wenye wata afford kulipa na e-citizen, wako na mulika mwizi. Wewe unatafuta school fees upeleke shuleni ama unatafuta pesa ununue smartphone uanze kulipa na e-citizen? E-citizen ni kikapu cha serikali kenye kimetoboka. Wewe fanya hesabu, pesa zake za government zenye zinapeleka kwa mashule hazifiki. Lazima principal wa complain, wapige kelele ndio hizo pesa zifanye ziende. Kwanza zinaendanga na mdomo anakaa kama miezi 3 after kelele ndio sasa hizo pesa zinafanya zinaingia. So e-citizen watoto wetu watakufa njaa shuleni. Principal atakuwa anataka chakula, hana pesa, lazima ufanye application ya 2 weeks or 1 week later ndio hizo pesa uwekewe kwa account. How?
So unasema hii pesa kuna uwezekano hii pesa haitafika shuleni wakati unaofaa. Kwa mfano pesa imekosa kufika na watoto
wamefaa. Na watu wanataka chakula. Kama zake zenye anatoa kama serikali ndio hazifiki. So za e-citizen zenye wazazi wametoa ndio watafika. Hatukatai principal wameongeza school fees. Lakini hata wewe unaangalia tu maisha venye iko, kama mahindi ya gunia ilikuwa 2500. Sasa ni 6000. Una expect principal atoe wapi pesa ndio afanye ndio anunulie watoto wako chakula? Si ngumu.
Sasa pengine venye rais amesema hii pesa mtakuwa mnaweka kwa gunia moja, sasa inamaanisha kama bei ya chakula imepanda basi itakuwa ni jukumu la serikali kuhakikisha kwa wamematch hiyo amount na chakula kimepatikana shuleni. Mbona unaona ni kama hii ni ukora tu ama ni ujanja?
Leo Ruto scrubbing school fees for the parents afanyie vitu zake. Ameona affordable housing watu wamestopisha kulipa taxes, so he can introduce e-citizen so that he can use that money to do his own housing levy na hizo zile scam zake zenye ameleta mingi. Let me just say this, Ruto's projects are the biggest scams in Africa we have never had. Ni scam zingine kubwa sana juu. Wacha nikuulize.
Yes, uliza.
Yeye sasa nikuulize, lazima kwa hii citizen ndio pesa zifike shule. Yeye akitaka kupunguza ni kubwa. Kwa zile shuleni nimeona 15.
Unanisikiza? Alright, I don't know, ni kama tunakupoteza kidogo. I can see travel with Fred long time. Karibu sana. Nakusikia sasa. Hello, nakusikiza sasa. You're audible.
Nanisikiza sasa?
Yeah.
Sasa since as one in 9 of September 2022, ni project gani amefanya ikaenda through? Ni project, ni mradi gani amefanya tu kama rais?
Kama rais ameweza kulaunch pale affordable houses. I think uliona wakifanya launching kama rais pale.
Affordable housing. Wacha na affordable.
Ametembelea nchi zaidi ya 40 akitafutia Wakenya kazi. Hata jana akiwa pale Japan uliona alisema zile opportunities ziko Japan. Amehimiza Wakenya kwa waende wafanye kazi ngambo na walete zile dola hapa ili tuweze kujenga nchi yetu. So he had several travels akienda kuwatafutia kazi. Na amesema kitambo ilikuwa ni kama ujafuzu uwezi ukaenda ngambo, lakini sasa hivi kwa sababu ni rais anaongea na hizi nchi, hata kama unataka mtu wa kinyozi, mtu wa mkono, and Kenyans can move easily and freely in these countries na waende walipwe in dollars. You saw when he was in Japan, the other day you saw he went to Italy kuwatafutia kazi. Hiyo bado uoni Angela?
Wacha nikuulize, anatafuta kazi and yet kwa passport hakuna passport booklets. How will I access passport na visa ndio niende ngambo? Without a passport I can't go anywhere. Acha kutufunga akili. Acha kutupumbaza. Wajinga waliisha Kenya. Hakuna kitu anatusaidia. In fact we are just waiting 5 years iishe na tumwambie bye bye.
Ni maoni yako hapo. Sasa wewe pia umekubaliana na koti na kusema
tusidanganyane. Unaona serikali ya Ruto ni serikali yani after all they are earning, anatumia, unajua anaenda 47 trips. 47 trips. How many trips did Kibaki alifanya yenye alienda na alitengeneza uchumi wa Kenya ikawa sawa? Hakuenda I think labda kama alienda sana ni labda utapata ni 5 ama 6. Lakini yeye 47 trips, hii ni waste our resources. Hii pesa yenye sasa unaona amesema hii citizen waeke pale pesa achukue aende Japan, anatafuta kazi na mdomo. Kwa nini haezi tafuta kazi Kenya? Mbona affordable housing? Ruto angetuambia I'm going to Japan, ni leta machine ya kutengeneza nguo.
Angela, dakika moja tu nataka usikize hii alafu tuendelee. 30% moja tu
of the budget of the government of Kenya. We are working on close to 15 different countries to sign a bilateral labor agreement with them. We have concluded some. In fact, we are concluding the one with Germany before June. We already have many other bilateral labor agreements in different stages, because it is my intention to make sure that we have an extra 1 million Kenyans in the next 5 years working abroad.
The diaspora are very strong. We want to consolidate and improve on our diaspora policy. When the department sends out its requests for ideas, please respond as early as possible. And we also need to acknowledge that in Japan, we've had strong relationship, and some of you, not all, but a good number of you may have come here on JICA scholarships. And we are therefore very appreciative to the government of Japan on that score. And our mission here, led by His Excellency the President, is really to consolidate that partnership. So while we are operating from Nairobi and you are in Japan, don't just look at yourselves as the diaspora. Take it that you're patriotic Kenyans and you're ambassadors of Kenya and ambassadors of the President of Kenya.
We want to collaborate in the area of support for the welfare of Kenyans in Japan here. We are committed to developing a welfare system for our community. The State Department for Diaspora Affairs has committed to collaborate with us in development of pre-departure orientations for Kenyans coming to Japan. This includes students, Kenyans who are coming to work, and those who are coming to visit. We emphasize this because, Your Excellency, Japan is a very unique society, and without proper orientation and transitioning, it becomes very difficult for Kenyans coming to Japan to transition well. This will go a long way in ensuring the social well-being of Kenyans through seamless induction and integration of our brothers and sisters once they arrive in Japan. Now, KIJA, in addition, is seeking to find long-lasting solutions to the challenges of our community in Japan here.
In December, I reiterated my message to the diaspora that the thing that we are looking to partner with you now, and I'm so glad to see that KIJA has caught the message and has actually spoken it back to us, is in investing back home, in joining us in skills, knowledge, and technology transfer, partnering with us to open up trade routes out here.
So Angela, that was a president in Japan speaking to Kenyans and telling them kile kilimpeleka pale ni kuwatafutia Wakenya kazi. So we've seen him doing that, and he can say that that is one of the things that he tried to do. Wacha nikaribishe wengine pia nawaona pale. Travel with Fred, welcome, long time. You're saying that the failed government of Ruto sending Kenyans for slavery instead of creating good environment for investors in Kenya. So painful. So I don't know, Fred, why you are calling this one slavery, yet most Kenyans right now are crowded there at the immigration. They're looking for passports so that they can get out of the country. So maybe unaweza fafanua pale. Namuona Goodia, good to see you this morning. Dr. Recap, Angela has also joined us here on the studio. So Angela, unaweza endelea. Umesema rais hajafanya chochote, lakini anawaambia tu e-citizen, e-citizen, eh?
Yes. Unaona, kwenda Japan kutafutia kazi hatukatai. The Japan government will be genuine. But the Kenya government, it is of lies. Ukienda kutafuta passport, unapata queue iko pale, unasikia mtu anakuambia mimi hata nimetembea town nimechoka. Because of what? I'm looking for a passport, there is no booklet. Then why can those be there so that when you go to look for a passport, you are applying for a job somewhere, it is easy. Awache kutufunika akili. Anatembea huko nje akijipendekeza. Kujipendekeza, akirudi leo na kwa nataka nikuambie thanks to the bank. Utasikia alikopa Japan milioni kadhaa, amekuja nazo. Milioni kadhaa zenye amekopa, haujui chenye au utaona chenye kimefanya. The government we are having in Kenya, it is of poor management. Hata afadhali class monitor wa class 1 anaweza make sure in 30 minutes the rents in that class, but not government of Kenya. You can imagine in Nairobi, wakati moto lipuka Embakasi na pale Jogoo Road study. Tuko na government. Wamoto wanasema the residents have to refill the fuel for the cars to come and rescue their belongings. Surely. Alafu ameenda Japan kutafuta kazi na nyumbani hatengenezi, kuna haribika.
But Angela,
yako ya nyumbani kwanza ndio uende utafute ile ingine.
Umekaa Kenya mara mingi Angela.
Yako.
Kuna kitu moja hata tuko na serikali.
Unatoka nje kwenda kutafuta makao mazuri huko nje.
Umekaa Kenya, kuna serikali ndio. Hata sasa hivi ukienda kutafuta usaidizi kwa askari, kuna magari ya serikali, lakini si utaambiwa uweke mafuta. Is that one wrong? See, people do that. Unaambiwa weka mafuta ndio tuende tushike fulani, weka mafuta ndio tufanye hivi.
So niambie from study kwenda town kwa Sakaja, how many kilometers? Wanadai waekewe mafuta ndio hiyo gari kuwa.
Oh, sorry, Angela. I know as you reconnect, Travel is saying, you are saying that the government is calling it, you call it slavery because there is no opportunities in Kenya. So raising taxes every time investors are moving outside Kenya to Tanzania, sending people outside the country is not the solution. So Fred, what is the solution now? The president wants people to give solution. Juzi umesikia akisema people should stop complaining, sabotaging, and blaming him. Instead, people should come up with solutions. So that was the second page of the Standard. Let me scroll to the next page and see what is there. All right. Oh, that is now the third page. That is, you can be able to see this a story that happened last week, I think. So you've heard of what happened at Halwale's home. So they're saying that Bonny Halwale trolled for wives, children parade. So Halwale decided to parade his family. And you'll also remember that for the last 10 years, each and every year, Halwale must always have children or grandchildren who are either doing KCPE or KCSE. So yesterday, he decided to tell people that I'm having 4 wives and 17 children. He didn't count the grandchildren. And he's gone to court. He wanted to be compensated by that politician, the Cleophas, the one known as Toto, who said that Halwale's servant, the one who was killed by the bull, he said this guy was not killed by the bull, but rather he claimed that Halwale is the one who killed this man for having an affair with Halwale's wife. But Halwale have gone to court and needs compensation and says that is defamation. The guy decided to label his wife a prostitute, which is wrong, and he needs to be compensated. And they've given Toto 48 hours to go and apologize, or else he face the law. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know if the court is going to grant them this request. So that is what is happening. He decided to take the matter to court. Oh, Michelle, Ashley, I can see you are back. Angela, sorry. Halwale ameamua kwenda koti. Amesema ni tabia mbaya watu kuita saying that aliua mfanyikazi wake kwa sababu ya affairs na bibi yake. So amesema hiyo ni kama ni kutusi na kuita bibi yake prostitute. So Toto anafaa kuwa ana apologize na anamlipa. So do you think the court is going to grant Boniface Halwale these wishes, ama this is also another hot air case? You can unmute, eh? Travel with Fred, I get you. You say that what can happen is to create a good environment for investors. And according to the president, he's saying that he's doing this by traveling across these countries to go and tell them that, you see, Kenya is good, you can go and invest. So he's saying that you people who are saying that Kenya is bad, nyinyi ndio mnaharibu na mnafanya investors wasikuje. Michelle, Angela, have you unmuted? Seem you have some
Hello, unanisikia?
Nakusikiza sasa.
Network yangu ni mbovu.
Oh, unasikika ukikatika katika. So that is what I was checking
Nasikika
on.
nikikatika.
Yeah, that is what we were checking on page 3. It is the issue of Alwale. But now, an interesting, if you get out of that, this is something that people have always been waiting for. Yeah. This is something so interesting. We are ready to pick the shortlisted candidates, IBC panel chair says. So this is what happened yesterday. The IBC selection panel chairman, Nelson Makanda, yesterday addressed the media with his fellow members, and they say that they are ready to pick the shortlisted candidates. Remember, picking of the shortlisted candidates is among the things that Azimio protested and made them to go on the streets, and it was among the agenda that was being discussed, I mean, in the bipartisan talk, in the Bombers dialogue talk. Among the things that people are discussing there was how they are going to select the next IEBC bosses. And this was stopped on a mutual agreement that they have the Bombers talk. Then after that, they'll be able to see whether they can proceed or not. Though Azimio proposed that they reinstate the Cherera 4, is it the Cherera 4? But now, yesterday, we were told that the chairman said that they are ready to pick the shortlisted candidate. So the electoral body does not have commissioners, which means it cannot hold pending by-elections. There's some by-elections that have been pending for long. They've not held these elections because there are no commissioners. And the process, was halted by the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio truce, that is after the 2022 general elections. So let's see, this is what Raila had to say, that the committee cannot work because it had been dismantled by the parliament. Kalonzo said that the selection panel is one-sided, and we know the court did not give them a definite date. And Kimani Ichung'wah, the majority leader, that he is expected to table the dialogue team report in parliament next week. So what is going to happen? Will they wait for Kimani Ichung'wah to table the report by the dialogue committee, or they'll go ahead and pick the members of the IEBC committee? And shall they do that? People can predict that Kenyans or the Azimio members are likely to get back to the streets. Mr. G, karibu sana. Good morning. Naona umekaribia. The first page of the Standard ilikuwa inazungumzia koti kuambia William Ruto kuwa hawezi okota pesa kupitia hiyo.
Anatembea akizunguka akilaunch vile Uhuru alifanya.
Angela, kidogo tu. So koti imesema Ruto hawezi akacollect pesa, lakini Ruto naye mwenyewe amesema hiyo pesa lazima mtalipa na e-Citizen, mpende msipende. Sasa tumeanzia hapo, maoni yako ni vipi? Amesema lazima mtalipa.
Sinajua yeye ana msukumo tofauti, na sasa ajibambe na ajigange, lakini kama vile Msufuna alisema, aombe Mungu sana asitoke kwa urais ama asikue raia, because some of these things is what we're going to start with, to take him to court, to jail, because that is defiance. Having said that, I like what is happening, because you see, we warned people. We told them the kind of president this guy is, and this is what we're experimenting at the moment. So it is not taking me by surprise. Yeah. And I know he is under pressure to pay debts, because that is where the trigger point will begin. But I want to assure Kenyans, this country will default. We will default, my friend. And that will be the trigger point. Yeah. By June, July, hapo December, hatuna inchi. We will default. Na Wakenya wengi watanyang'anywa pesa.
So you are predicting a default, eh?
Hey,
yeah, you are predicting a default, whereby to the default.
Yeah, there will be a default. There will be a default, because I'm looking at the bullet payment that is going to happen on June, the Eurobond bullet payment, and then I'm looking at the interest. This is a Eurobond that was taken when the dollar was at 80 shillings per Kenya shilling, And therefore, when you pay it at 167, leave alone even the debt itself, look at the interest that has accrued due to the dollar, the weakening of our Kenya shilling. So we are in trouble, and we might think that everything is rosy. It is not rosy. What the government is saying, they have stabilized the economy, they have done what? That is stories that should be given to the birds. I can tell you there is no economy that can be stabilized by corrupt people. That one you can take it to any corner of this world. Nothing like that. You can imagine they withdrew 147 billion shillings without the approval of a parliament. I know this is a behavior that has happened even in other regimes, but I can tell you this itself tells you why we cannot be able to honor our debt. And if we do honor our debt, we will not pay salaries. We will not give counties money. And there will be a very big hole in the economy, which again is also a trigger of a revolution. Me, I'm waiting for that time. I know it has taken long, but hayawi mwisho huwa. That is what we are expecting. Wanjege said it. I'm saying it, and this is what is going to happen. Like it happened in Ghana. The moment you default, anybody who has savings in the system of Kenya, whether it's in the bank, Furiza, M-Pesa, any money that you have saved, the government will access more than 40% of it. It is the way it's supposed to. What happens, and that will be a good trigger point, because Kenya is not Ghana, Kenya is not Ethiopia, Kenya is Kenya. Ukiguza pesa ya mtu kwa bank, then it's gonna be not business as usual. The reason why he is pushing this e-citizen issue, what people don't know is that the government is literally working on what we call hand to mouth kind of a situation. So the luxuries, the spending of this Kwanza government to go and open churches and move around countries telling stories, they need a float, and that is the float they are looking for. So the court is telling them, don't try. And we are telling the people of Kenya, unless you are in government, those who are private sector, don't limit things that are not making sense. Follow the court order, and you'll be safer to follow the court, because courts will be there forever with us. But this regime will not be there for long. I can assure you, its time is expiring sooner than we're expecting. Yes.
So you're waiting for revolution. There's this, and I was just reading this one here. Let me just put it so that you can be able to see, whereby what is happening. Remember when people went for Mandamano, among the things that were discussed was this issue of
Hello.
Umegwama ama ni mimi peke yangu ndo sikusikii?
I think amekwama because hata mimi simsikii, lakini nakusikia wewe. Wewe ni Angela ama ni nani? Pia tumezeeka. Sasa hii hatuoni hii majina kidogo kidogo inaandika. Oh, tumezeeka sasa. But unaweza, I think network imehang ama amevamiwa na Zakayo.
Sasa wacha nikuulize, huyu Zakayo shwali, hata kama anasema anajenga affordable housing, like the other day niliona senator wa Trans Nzoia anasema Zakayo amesema ukienda Kitale kuna hosi inaitwa Serengani Nursing. Sasa hii iko level 4. So unaweza imagine mtu mwenye akili timamu aende abomoe hosi yenye inasaidia watu juu ya affordable housing. Unaongeza ama unapunguza?
Kwani ana akili? Sidhani ana akili timamu. Kama una akili timamu huwezi fanya vitu kama hizo. Hata hii ingine inabomolewa hapa.
Hiyo hosi yenye anabomoa imeshinda Kitale District Hospital na equipment. Una understand?
Yes.
Ukienda Kitale Hospital District unaambiwa unarifaiwa tu Cherengani nursing home. Huko ndio kuna better treatment. So ibomolewe, ajenge affordable housing. Nani alimwambia anataka affordable housing? Tunatosheka na maisha yenye iko. Afanye vitu zingine.
Si tunasema hivi, watu wakasirike because sasa huyu mtu is getting rogue. Hakuna kitu ambaye anafanya ambayo ina make sense. Hizo affordable housing, how affordable are they to start with? In any case, kwa nini ujenge manyumba kwa shamba ya serikali ambayo serikali haitakuwa moja? It will never. Hii serikali haina maisha. So we are sure of one thing, that the next government will claim their land back. That one I know.
Exactly.
Because sasa will be demolished because zinajengwa bila mpangilio, bila sheria. Because if the title deed kama title deed inaoniwa na mtu tofauti, ule anajenga ni tofauti, ule anauza ni tofauti, na ule ananunua ni tofauti, unataka kuniambia hii shamba itakuwa ya nani? Hiyo nyumba itakuwa ya nani? Because for me, the way I'm looking at it, after all this hulabaloo is done, after hii visanga na vipindi zimefanywa, and then hii government itoke, kwa sababu mimi najua itatoka, ule atakuja hata kama ni nani atasema mambo ya serikali, mishamba ya serikali zirudi kwa serikali, na mtu ambaye ako na nyumba huko auze ama hiyo iwe maofisi ya serikali, because it is being done illegally. Na ndio sababu koti inauliza nani ana benefit na hii affordable housing? Who is benefiting? Because koti inauliza kama unakata wale ambao wameemployiwa alafu wale wajaemployiwa wanunue, how fair is it? Those are simple questions that are being asked. So we do not need, na kama kuna nyumba inatakiwa kubomolewa kwa sababu ya affordable housing, ni moja hapo ya hii Western Hotel ambao ilichukuliwa, ambayo hiyo Western Hotel kunasemekana iko katika shamba ya Kenya KAA. Na kama ni KAA hiyo tunaweza peana ibomolewe, kujengewe affordable housing Lang'ata ili watu waweze kupata nyumba ya kukomboa. Kwa hivyo kama Western ibomolewe, hospitali zibomolewe. Because hata kuna ingine inabomolewa nasikia Nakuru.
Mimi nilisema yeye anataka kujenga affordable housing. Yeye kila county yako na shamba. Zile shamba za amenyang'anya watu kwa kila county. Ajenge ndani ya affordable housing shamba zake.
Yes.
Unaona like this perspectives wanashinda wanaua watu usiku na mchana. You know that place?
Gani hiyo?
Huku saidia ni wapi huku Baringo huku kwenye bandits wanauana, yes. Wanaua watu usiku na mchana. Why can't he go there and build there affordable housing for those people so that they not be attacked?
Yes.
Because the people who are
actually my argument has been, and I think even Mushomba said, affordable housing, it is to make sure that even those who live in a madhouse can afford a house. So the government could have produced or given. Lakini anyway, why are we advising this guy? We cannot advise him. Huyu ni mtu ambaye amepita hiyo kiwango, ako na ile amejaa ile ubabarik, yani ile ugeshagi imejaa, yani mtu he doesn't need any advice. But for the next government that is going to come after this, we need to advise them. Affordable housing means this: pea watu hata kama ni blocks, wapatie ile mashini ya kutengeneza blocks za nini za kujenga, alafu simiti reduce it, weka subsidy kwa simiti.
Yes.
And then you make sure hata kama ni manyata unatumia architectures na designers wanatengeneza manyata ambayo udongo imechanganywa na simiti, ama na kuna ingine inaitwa prefabricated houses, inatengenezwa in such a way that it is permanent, hainyeshi na kuna stima. Those are the things that you should do. Lakini huwezi ambia mtu ambaye anatoka ati Manyata atoke Manyata aende akae kwa town. Nani atalisha ng'ombe? Nani atalisha mbuzi? It does not make sense to anybody. We want affordable houses that are making sense to the people. Mi nataka kama kwetu kuna vitu, kuna blocks zingine huwa zinachomwa. Hiyo malinga machine, uleta malinga machine wakomdesha watu watengeneze manyumba zao, watakuwa comfortable na wawekee stima. Hii mambo ya affordable housing is not making sense, is not even affordable to us, is not affordable to anybody. But who are we advising? Ruto does not get any advice from anybody. He advises himself.
Ruto behaves like a lady who is just in adolescence. Unaona, inamzungusha tu with no reasoning, anaenda wapi? So akienda Japan, making trips to show, yani kujionyesha. Unaona, yeye ni rais, anatembea anatia Wakenya. Ni kazi gani anapaswa kupata ni shida? Si aende Japan atuambie kuna mashine ameona Japan. Amekopa pesa, ameenda kuleta hiyo mashine, inatengeneza viatu, inatengeneza kompyuta, inaweza tengeneza simu, inaweza tengeneza radio, inaweza tengeneza kitu fulani. Tunajua akilaunch that machine ina go down where in a industrial area or in huko kwake Sugoi, tunajua that company will employ our youth there na itakuwa ni kitu iko permanent. Lakini akituambia ana create opportunity in affordable housing, wewe una expect mtoto wako ametoka university, the only work that has been created by the president ni kazi ya mjengo. How long will this affordable housing go? Itatake muda gani? Or ataijenga muda yake yote? Affordable housing. So
thank you Angela. Asante sana. Thank you guys kwa kushikilia. Nilikuwa na itilafu kidogo mpaka I can also see Kip is here. And as I welcome Kip, kuna something interesting. I know you guys know this. I know you guys I've heard some people talk of the Hustler Fund or what. So let me just show you what is happening. Some development. You are told. That is page 5 of the Standard. If you have your copy, you can read with me. Ruto's cheap credit dream for hustlers dies. This is after the central
Kipu, kwani uko area na uniambii bro?
We Kipu, umekuja Kenya umenyamaza like inakudai. Kipu. Ulisema
so Kip, kwani unatembea unatafuta nini? So SG bado mnazungumzia Hustler Fund?
Yeah, Hustler Fund is a flop. It was a flop from the word go. Let me tell you, katika dunia mzima, na hii ni kitu ambao unaweza gogo uone, the governments or governments do not do business with the public. What people do, they have shares. Government can have shares so that they control the sum of investment like parastatals and stuff. So in for example, you go to China. Yeah, we know that so many parastatals are owned by the government because they are contractors. But when it comes to money business, when it comes to shops and stuff like that, you don't do business with your people. Anytime a government involves itself with business, then it destroys the environment of growth. Because the best thing the government can do if you want to give affordable loans, it is to restructure the policies. Utengeneze policy useme, we want you to give people these loans. And this is what Kibaki did. So the banks gave loans, Equity gave loans that were cheap and very easy to manage. But eventually now we have Hustler Fund which now is being managed by the government, and it is destroying the very fabric of finances. Kwa hivyo, it is not a cheap loan. Jana niliambia mtu mwingine, even if it's 8%, it is 8% per loan. So you can imagine 8 times 12, what it is per year. It is not cheap. It is a Shylock. It's actually more expensive than a Shylock kind of a loan. And flopping of Hustler Fund doesn't take me by surprise. It was to happen because when you give people of Mogoka na watu wa Miraa loan, what do you expect? So for me, it doesn't take me by surprise.
Unajua leo hapo kwa Hustler Fund
Yes.
tulisema wacha tukope na tukose kulipa na tumfunze adabu. Yeye ni rais, anatukopesha aje pesa? Yaani akona tamaa. Hata ukisoma Biblia, somanga Biblia gani? Ukisoma Methali
lakini
inasema
Central Bank imeongeza rate. So inamaanisha hata hiyo Hustler Fund wanaenda kuongeza bei, haitakuwa ile interest mlikuwa mnalipa. So that is the news that is there. Wameongeza rates by the Central Bank.
Na tulipi. Sasa ukipewa shilingi 500, what can you start with 500 shillings? Which type of business? Utauza melo, utaununua hata haitoshi melo ni mzima.
Karibisheni keep aseme neno. Keep karibu sana. Mtu ya NAK Kenya. Hello, tunakusikiza. Sasa tumeambiwa IBC wanaendelea kuchagua commissioner. Nyinyi kama watu wa NAK Kenya mtaenda kwa andamana ama mtafanya nini?
Wacha iendelee vile yanataka. It's gotten to the point where your president, not mine, is going to run the country the way he feels like. Let me not lie to you. Acha tu niwaambie ukweli. Mimi nikienda kwa duka ninunue kitu chochote, si inakuwa yangu. Sasa legislator wote wamenunuliwa na Ruto, so it belongs to him. The highest court ever ishanunuliwa na allegedly, so he can do whatever he wants. So if us as the people who are the actual owners of these institutes do not do anything, let him do it. It is best we as the people come collectively. I'm still waiting for Raila to do something. I'm still waiting for Martha to do something. That is the worst kind of way we can think as Kenyans. Why are we waiting for them to do anything? Kama mnasikia kama tumefinywa, tukuje pamoja kama wa Kenya twende. Mimi hapa si mambo ya NAK Kenya. I'm there as a member. When it comes politically, I'll discuss that. But when it comes to things like this is not political. This is actually thuggery and theft of all our institutes. So us as Kenyans, pamoja, without any political body, without any political affiliation, should come together and fight. Even guys of UDA, watu wa UDA tuko pamoja na nyinyi. Tunaumia pamoja. Ile price ya mafuta ni hakuna pump imeandikwa UDA hapo. Hakuna pump imeandikwa Azimio, yote pump ni yetu. So we should go. Memoriam Hospital, see Jubilee, because Jubilee voted there. You Memorial Hospital, mimi Mkenya nikiwa mgonjwa na natoka Eldoret na nenda huko, I should be treated there because it's government property. Coming down to affordable housing. Affordable houses should not be run by the government. If you look at most countries, it's always run by non-governmental organization. All the government is there to do is to ensure that people who cannot afford housing get those properties. When you mtu anaweza afford 40,000 a month, are you kidding me? And you call that affordable? Ama unaambia kununua nyumba ni 400,000. That is not affordable housing. Is the citizens of Kenya that have the goodwill to provide affordable housing as non-governmental organizations are the ones who should lease these lands to the government, or are the ones who should build these properties for their fellow citizens. It's not the government to build this. Is Ruto's company, allegedly, the ones who are going to bring the cement, the ones who are going to bring the sand, the ones who are going to bring the workers? Is he a non-governmental organization? No, it's not. This is why most countries went to non-governmental organizations to do this, so that we don't have situations we're having right now, where somebody is desperate to ensure he has business around Kenya. He gets 3% from the few citizens that are actually working right now. When I oppress or what? Is that fair? Even the ones who are contributing right now, the ones who are actually providing affordable housing to their relatives who cannot afford. Everybody around here hapa kwa hii kuna relatives wanakutegemea sahi huko nyumbani, and you send a little something every month, and they're able to make a living, they're able to feed themselves, pay a bit of rent. There are some people here who got dependents who are in their 20s, young cousins, young siblings, young brothers. And that is how we provide affordable living for me. That is me. But somebody coming to dictate that you have to pay. Let me put it this way. If it was in the manifesto of UDA, nionyeshe liko wapi ama Kenya Kwanza. Where is that manifesto? That manifesto was in Azimio, and we had a plan. Implementing something without a plan does not work.
Kenya Kwanza walifunika chini, walichimba shimo wakaiweka chini, wakaamuka na akili.
Sijui iko wapi. If you go to Azimio's manifesto, it is there. We have an affordable housing plan. Lakini where he copied the bullet points. He did not ask Azimio for the strategic plan that Raila had planned for this thing. We want to copy paste Azimio policies, but he does not know how to implement them. We took very, very many years to actually draft this manifesto as Azimio. Anakuja anachukua 2 bullet points, anasikia ka buzzword, anaenda kufanya hiyo vitu. He goes talks to it, and he does not want to let go of it. If it is not in a manifesto, kwenda huko, wachana nayo, isi yako, you don't know what you're doing. So, as Kenyans, let us talk. Sorry. Go on.
No, you're the one who is talking. I think you said that.
Oh, so. So, Hustler Fund, guys. Hustler Fund is just to go into our M-Pesa accounts. Mko mnaweka pin number zenu. Anaangalia account zenu, anajua mna pesa ngapi huko kwenu. Hakuna kitu kama Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund kuangalia mfuko wenu, ndio akuje kwa tax. Ndio mjue sasa, tuseme hii pesa mlitoa wapi, wacha ikuje kwa mfuko yangu. And by the way, centralized payment mode is very good. I like it. Wacha Ruto afinya watu, the civil servants at the bottom wenye walikuwa nakula pesa, wacha iende kwa mfuko mmoja, Ruto akula yote. Nini? Yeah. Because mnanyamazanga sisi tele sisi wananchi tunaumia. Sasa kwa sababu kuna hiyo making your living kwa kutufinya nyinyi massive servants. Parking kila kitu, principles iende kwa, alafu ndio tukwende maandamano vizuri, ndio mjue. Tukienda maandamano peke yetu mnanyamaza. Sasa hakuna hiyo pesa yenu kidogo ya kuibaiba, hakuna. Ruto endelea na hiyo kazi. Thank you.
Keep.
Hapana, no,
Yes.
Allah, you need to understand. Wacha tufinye vizuri ndio tujue. Then as Kenyans maandamano ikikuja tuende pamoja. Wacha mtu tufinye vizuri sana. Bado hujafika. We've not hit rock bottom yet. Not yet. Finya watu Ruto, finya vizuri sana. Very good.
Jana keep, just to ask you, ulisikia Ruto akisema kuwa hii mambo ya taxation naye hataweka break. Hata aitwe majina muite including Zakayo, hataweka break. Na akasema kuwa Japan is built by Japanese. Kenya must also be built by Kenyans. And on the issue of you collect fee pia, alisema
Ngoja kidogo,
itaendelea, koti ikubali, ikatae.
Ngoja kidogo, stop there. Kenya should be built by who? Kenyans. Alafu ananiambia, wewe vile ulikuwa huko diaspora, hebu rudi huko, alafu anaambia wengine tunakutafutia job Germany, tunatafutia kazi huko US. So how are these Kenyans about to build Kenya in Japan or Germany? Anatufukuza tuende tutengeneze madola badala ya kutuambia sisi tujenge nchi yetu kama Wakenya. He should
anataka mutengeneze madola, murudishe madola huku Kenya, alafu ibalance.
Does not make sense. Mbona wa US wajatuma watu Kenya? Mbona Japanese wajatuma watu hapa? Ati Kenyans should build Kenyans. Hiyo ni uongo. Uongo Kamila.
Sasa how will you build Kenya and yet you are in Germany? Utaijenga na nini? Or when you are in Germany, your salary will be taxed in Kenya.
No, the president talked of something called remittance. Remittance. When you are in Germany, you remit money back to Kenya, and this is what is going to levelize the rates. And the money that you send back to the family, that is the money that he says is going to build this economy. So alisema we need to import so many people waende nje abroad, mutengeneze hizo madola. That is the words of the deputy president. Mkuje mjenge nayo nchi yetu. Yes.
Acha nikuulize leo.
Niulize.
Our president does not have a reasoning capacity yake iko chini. You are telling Kenyans unawatafutia kazi nje. Yes, hata Kenya hakuna kazi because he has failed to create job opportunities. At the same time, you want Kenya to be developed by the same people. So you mean when in Germany hospital is hiring doctors, all graduated doctors in Kenya are going to Germany, to Japan, UK, Canada, then Kenya inabaki venye iko hivyo. Hata hizo hospitali zitakosa manase, zitakosa madaktari, zitakosa kila kitu. Where are we heading to? Unless ako tu na mental health and I need the checkup.
See, Goodyear is also saying that this is so ironical because there's no way you can tell Kenyans to go to these foreign countries kutafuta pesa, but back in the country, the contracts are being given to foreigners like Chinese. So, SG.
Hey. Sasa unajua hatutakosa kuongea
because kabisa
I actually at one point I also support very much what Kip is saying because there are these 80 million idiots. Unakumbuka wale watu ambao walisema I'm not going to vote for Azimio and I'm not going to vote for, I don't have a candidate. My candidate is myself. And they caused this problem because that is what enabled Zakayo to carry the basket and then top up. And you know, he didn't top up a lot because my community, Tugega is from Mount Kenya, believed that he is a savior and is going to bring revival. Leave alone the economic revival, he's going to bring even spiritual revival. They believed that. And that is why we are where we are right now. But these idiots, because I call them idiots, anybody who did not vote because he didn't see any option, kept us in this mess. And that are the people we are telling them, when it comes now to a revolution, to change, please participate because it is affecting you. Today, believe you me, and you're in, I don't know whether in Kenya, I think Angela is in Kenya, there is no middle class. Middle class imewawa within 1 year. Imeisha. Na uzuri wa middle class, I usually tell people, you cannot grow an economy without the middle class. These are the people who buy plots. These are the people who club from one club to another. These are the people who buy, and I'm sorry to use these strong words, prostitute. Ndio watu wao ndio wanaenda wanachukua wanaenda pale inaitangwa nini? Inaitangwa aje imali. Sabina Joy anachukua mtu anampatia 500, anakaa anaenda pale achukua sukuma anachoma nyama, aroa club hii anaenda ingine. Those are the people. Now hawana kitu. Saa hii sijaenda kwa muda huko Sabina Joy, but and I'm told it's dry. Hakuna kitu. So you cannot destroy the middle class and expect a country to grow. The people who Kip is talking about here are the people who say it doesn't matter who is the president, I'll still get my earnings.
Mr. G, sorry, SG, ukiendelea, have a look at this. These are the people that
Yes.
were represented in the plan, the manifesto, the watu wa matatu na watu wa bodaboda. So this is page 13, the standard. Matatu lobby motorists reject the planned new tolls, whereby the motorists have rejected the government plan to introduce toll stations. And the Motorist Association of Kenya, that is MAK, and Matatu Welfare Association, in a joint briefing, said that the move will burden commuters as the cost will be passed down to them. They also cautioned that the government, against what they termed as double taxation at the fuel pump and on the road. Those are the middle class you're talking of, ama kuna wengine?
Yes, these are sisi tunawekewa toll stations kwa sababu wakubwa si wanaenda na ndege na wanaenda na nini na magari kubwa kubwa. But the hustlers, the people who are in between, people who spend, because any person in middle class, I can tell you, one of the signs and the symptom that you are a middle class, it is when you get big money, iwe ni sport pesa, iwe ni jackpot, iwe ni deal imeiva, hiyo pesa unaitumia shagrabagla. Ama naongea mbaya? Naongea
ukijipata unatumia pesa shagalabagala, wewe ni middle class.
Wewe ni middle class.
Pesa 100k, yes, 3 days umebakisha 20,000 peke yake.
Uko na 20,000. Uko na 20,000.
Wewe ni middle class.
Wewe ni middle class. Wewe akili yako haijui ku manage pesa, and you're a middle class, which is very important in any country, because umepata 100,000. Number one, budget ni muzinga. Number two, mademu wako wapi? Number three, ni wapi kuna nyama chama mzuri? That is a kind of a person we are saying, let him have a disposable income, because if he has 100,000, I can assure you more than 1 million people will touch that money. Now he is a generous person. Middle class are generous people. Those are middle class. Lakini hawa watu wanakuanga wanaenda na aeroplane. In fact, let me tell you something. You might go to Karen, ufungue duka na ujaze stock. But let me surprise you. Unaweza funga hiyo duka within 1 year. Those people don't buy in those shops. They have a lot of money, but they don't care about your shop. They don't. Atapita hiyo duka aende mall, anunue kile ananunua hata kama ni mara 5 na arudi kwa nyumba anunue hata online. Analetewa kwa inamletea hata chakula analetewa hapo. Huyu mtu atakusaidia aje ki economy? Hawezi. So
lakini hata sisi watu wa middle class pia unapata mtu SG sasa, ukipata pesa unaenda kununua pale Quickmart, lakini huyu jirani wako mwenye ako na duka utakuja kumbuka ile siku unaenda kukopa. Are we not to be blamed?
Unajua watu wana promote uchumi. Unaona low class, wale wananchi wa chini kabisa, hao ndio watu kupromote uchumi. Mtu kama mimi napata 300 per day, hakuna siku nitaenda Quickmart. Ni hiyo tu duka ya pale hiyo ya hapo kwetu hiyo. No understand? Ndio yeye ndio sasa hiyo pesa aende stock kwa wholesale. Unaona uchumi inaimarika. Watu wa chini wakiwa na pesa, uchumi inaimarika. Juu mtapata pesa. Lakini chini kama hakuna pesa, my friend, we are doing nothing. So mimi nasema president anafaa kukaa chini ajiite mkutano. Kwa hizi vitu zote zenye amejaribu kufanya zinakataliwa. Siku moja tu akiwa peke yake ajiite mkutano, ajiulize ni wapi natoka, ni wapi naenda. Am I doing the right thing or not? 2020, when it comes to 2027, nitarudishwa ama nitapelekwa nyumbani. Ukumbuke alishindia Raila Odinga 100 votes na zimepatikana 100,000 full votes, na ajue zimepatikana na hadi zimepita. So anafaa ajiite mkutano tu peke yake bila mtu. The only thing is that anakuwa surrounded na watu wenye wanajua ukweli, lakini waezi mwambia juu haambiliki, harekebishwi. Unaona? Na ni vibaya sana kama mtu huwezi kubali kurekebishwa. Hata ile Biblia tu yenye huwa inasema asiyekubali kurekebishwa ni mjinga. So anafaa ajioji, aone ako wapi, na atafute network ya uongozi. Amepoteza network ya uongozi na ya akili. Atafute network yake ya uongozi na ya akili. Iko wapi? Imepotelea wapi? Ni nini anafaa kufanya? Ajirekebishe. Na tumemjua, asidhania ya kwamba atatupumbaza last minute. Hatutapumbazika. Hatutapumbazika hata kidogo. So ajue 2027 atarudi pale 10 years kama Uhuru, kama Kibaki, ama yeye ni wa miaka 5 na akiendanga.
Umesema miaka 5 akiendanga. That is so interesting. Also, guys, the ones who are joining now, this was a Afriq Morning show. We normally have the morning show for only 2 hours. That is from 8 to 10. Though leo tulianza tukichelewa kidogo. I'm just reminding you that tomorrow is Friday, right? So tomorrow we'll be having this show, The Bed of Roses. It will be aired from 8 p.m. East African time. So if you've not subscribed to Afriq 24, do ensure you do so that you don't miss.
Join us every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a captivating journey into the world of love, relationships, and romance. Presented by the dynamic trio Maggie Knox, MC Jesse, and Annie Waweru. Bed of Roses promises to be your weekly dose of heartwarming stories, insightful discussions, and expert advice on matters of the heart. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply love a good love story, this is the show for you. Don't miss out on the chance to unwind and indulge in the joys and challenges of love, all brought to you by our talented hosts. Tune into Afriq 24 every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Bed of Roses. Subscribe now and mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See you there.
Hizo ni show zingine muhimu, usikose kufuatilia. So Angela, umesema hii maneno watu wa middle class ndio tunajenga economy na tunaumizwa. Naona Dr. Rekap anasema pale kuwa umesema hii mambo ya globo ni ya Masonko.
Wewe wacha nikuulize, umeshaienda
Yes. Uliza.
You know, Masongo, yeah, ataenda kufanya shopping Naivas, atafanya shopping online. Do he has money? He has everything. Mimi Angela mwenye sina, I just have to go to the nearest shop. I do there my shopping. I buy there my veggies at that kibanda. Then when I promote that mama of kibanda akinunua mboga, nikinunua mboga zake, auze vizuri. Akienda soko, ule mkulima mwenye ametoa shambani akaleta, pia yeye ataiuza vizuri. Economy inaimarika kama imariki. Huyo mkulima atapeleka mtoto shuleni. Mama mboga atapeleka mtoto shuleni. Mimi nitapeleka mtoto shuleni. Tunasaidiana ama tusaidiane?
Ni kusaidiana,
Lakini this guy is killing us. Hatusaidii, anatuua, anatufinya kabisa.
Zile opportunities kidogo anakuja anazimaliza.
Sasa amefika hadi to an extent anataka kukula school fees yetu. My friend, hatutaki. Asiguze kwa school fees, aachie principals. By then
So,
sukuma ilikuwa 500 bag. Sasa hata sukuma ilipanda. Wewe una expect principal mtoto wako akule na anunue na ile pesa kidogo. Hii pesa nyingine ya kulisha hao watoto atatoa wapi, na wewe umepandisha kila kitu? Is that principal an angel? Mwenye atafanya miujiza chakula ipatikane kwa store ya shule?
You get it.
Akisema ametoa pesa, lazima asukumwe afikishwe kwa ukuta, afinywe na msumari ndio hizo pesa zitoke. Anatoanga na mdomo, anafanya na mdomo. Mr. President, we are tired of kufanya na mdomo, fanya kwa vitendo.
Munataka kuanza kuona vitendo. Oh, that is it.
Mdomo yake hata hatutaki kumuona kwa gari mahali, hatutaki kumuona ako Japan. Tunataka tuone tu kazi zinafanyika, hata hatutaki kuona sura yake. Tumechoka na sura yake.
Loud and clear. I just have to thank you, Angela. Let me take this opportunity pia kushukuru kila mtu ambaye aliweza kujiunga nasi, Keep SG and everybody there. You can see Goodyear, Dr. Recap, Travel with Fred. It was great. At least tumeweza kuchambua pages kidogo ya gazeti, ingaje kesho nitakuwa na gazeti mingi. Today I only managed to get Standard. Maybe I woke up late kama gazeti zisha pita. Tomorrow I'll have a bunch of them and we'll be able to go through them very well. And don't miss today's show. That is from 10 p.m. There's a lot that we are going to discuss on today's show. Na kama uja subscribe, tafadhali, anytime umefungua na uone hiyo Afriq, tafuta kwenye YouTube, subscribe and invite your friends also to subscribe. I just want to wish you people a good day. Kwa wale wako kazini, muwe na siku njema. Najua kuna wale wanaamka sasa hivi. I just have to tell them good morning. Na tuweze kupatana hapo jioni. Na pia keep in touch. We are having some other programs that will keep updating you as they get in. Thank you very much and have a great day.